We're going to engage in a Kundalini breathing practice in a moment. And I'm trained as a yoga teacher in both Ayurveda and Ashtanga and Kundalini. And what I find is that they're a really good pairing. So if you're into yoga, check out putting those two together. The reason we're going to try that in a moment is it works really well in any part of the seasons of life. But I find it particularly works well in the first two, in the spring and summer of the creative cycle. So let's say, you're getting a good idea and you want to put something out in the world, or you're feeling inspired. How do you make sure that you don't burn yourself out on the energy of it, right? So we're going to practice that in a minute. It's called the ego eradicator. It's pretty good, and it is humbling. To do some ego eradicating? Sound good? Okay, great. So if you'll take a posture that kind of supports your spine, I like to have both my feet on the ground if that feels comfortable for you. And if it feels comfortable for you, you might go ahead and close your eyes after I'm done with the demonstration. But you're invited to leave them open as well if that doesn't feel safe. One of the things we're going to ask you to do is to elevate your arms over your head, and if that doesn't feel good to you at this kind of angle, then you can just also kind of hold them in tight. You don't have to do it yet. The explanation, trust me, you're not going to want to do this any longer than what I'm going to ask you to do, not 1 second longer. Now, in the classic Kundalini method of breath work, they ask you to do a lot of hand mudras, and the one for this is to pull all of your fingers in to make a fist, and your thumbs are out. The thumb is thought to be the center of the ego area in a hand mudra. And what we're trying to do is not say that somehow ego is bad with this. What we're trying to do is eliminate the ego's influence for us for when it's in fear, when it's in scarcity mindset, when the ego says, who do you think you are to even try a spiritual practice? Or when the ego says, well, of course you're the most spiritual person there's ever been, right? To let the ego kind of step out for a minute so that the rest of what we're working on gets to come back into play, right? What we're going to add to it is what's known as breath of fire. The idea is to kind of stoke a belly fire within yourself and to let the energizing breath circulate through the whole system. It's a very quick inhale, and the exhale kind of takes care of itself. It's like this. I'll step over here. You have to use your belly to do this. Can you feel your belly working like a bellows? It's like that. Okay, don't start yet, but I'm glad you practiced. This is good. And here's why I say don't start yet. We're going to put all that together with your arms extended, and the classic time for this is at least 3 minutes. Oh, you can see why it's humbling, right? You can see why it's humbling and why I said don't start yet. We won't do the full 3 minutes, don't worry. In fact, you're supposed to build up to 11 minutes, but I've not built. I'm not done. So I know it's a lot, isn't it? It's too much. So we're going to do it for a minute, because a minute's enough time to really start to feel this. I promise you, your arms won't fall off. They might feel like they will. But what you might start to notice is what's going through your head. Do you get angry? Do you get sad? Does grief come up? Do you hate me? Whatever it is, right? It could be all sorts of things. And the reason we do this is so that we can make friends with both the positive and the negative emotions, right? Both the stuff about ourselves we love and maybe the shadow sides, so that nothing is alienated in our own self, right? There's no orphan part of ourself that isn't invited to be a part of our life. Everything is welcome so that we can learn to grow and love with it, right? So that's why we're doing this. Okay, straight posture, maybe close your eyes. If you think you might sweat or make a grimace, go ahead, no one's watching. You're gonna extend your arms either this way or all the way out at a 60-degree angle. Curve those fingers in and begin the breath of fire. little bit longer. Inhale, lengthen the arms to their full extension. Hold that breath. Exhale. Release those hands back to your lap and pause for a moment. What's swirling around inside of you? What can you be grateful for? What is maybe released a little? What might it be like to use this practice to begin a time of meditation? Take one more inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Bring your hands together and rub them to add a little heat. And you'll place those over your eyes, maybe opening up your eyes underneath the palms of your hands to let the light slowly come back in and gently lower your palms. All right. Thank you, friends. I highly recommend using that as the start of your creative cycle as well as any meditation cycle you might enter into. It really helps center down. Okay. Thank you so much.